Hawthorn University of Technology.
The academic procession is about to enter the hall. Would you please stand? please remain standing for the National Anthem. The words are on the inside back cover of your program. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer of today's ceremony, Ms. Kathleen Townsend, Deputy Chancellor of the Swinburne University of Technology.
Members of the University Council, members of staff, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Swinburne University of Technology, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this graduation and award conferral ceremony. We're very pleased that so many of you have been able to attend to make this such a special occasion. This ceremony acknowledges the academic and research achievements of our students and represents a significant step in the process of lifelong learning. As a mark of respect to Australia's Indigenous people, Swinburne University of Technology acknowledges the Wurundjeri people as the traditional custodians of the land where we now meet to conduct this important ceremony. On the occasion of this ceremony, the Council and staff of the University wish to share their pride and their congratulations with the graduands on their achievement. For all of us, this ceremony is a very special occasion. For the graduands, it means the culmination of years of study, hard work and achievement. For the parents, families and friends of the graduands, it means that all the sacrifices which you've made and all the support which you've provided have now finally been rewarded. I'm sure that you, like us, feel a great sense of pride and happiness in seeing your friend or family member succeed in this most significant way. For the academic and administrative staff of the university, there's enormous satisfaction in seeing our students successfully complete their studies. While this ceremony rightly celebrates the achievements of our students, it's also an important occasion for the university. Swinburne prides itself on the quality of the teaching and learning it provides and the excellence of its research. This celebration gives public recognition of Swinburne's ongoing commitment to provide our students with a range of high-quality educational qualifications. These qualifications will assist them to make an ongoing contribution to their chosen profession and, importantly, to their particular community. Swinburne is committed to being a nationally and internationally recognised institution where our education programs and our research are relevant to the world community as well as to Australia. We're committed to this goal because increasingly our graduates are required to work outside Australia and establish successful international careers, and our researchers routinely collaborate with scholars from around the world. I now call upon Professor Andrew Flitman, Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research of Swinburne University of Technology, to address today's graduands.
Deputy Chancellor, colleagues, guests, graduands, it's a great honour to be here to speak to you for a few minutes. Graduations are one of the few occasions where everybody's happy. I have a short walk from my office and I really enjoy coming to the graduation ceremonies because you only see smiling faces. It's not where there are winners and losers, there are actually only winners today. I was happy to talk to a couple of the families concerned, take the odd photo for one or two of the families, and it's clearly a very happy occasion. So I love to come to these things. It's also, I guess, a recognition that there is a big achievement what we are celebrating today. And it isn't just a big achievement for the graduands that are walking across the stage, but I know that a lot of the guests here will have contributed very significantly to the success that we are recognising today. And I think it's important to reflect that when every single person walks across the stage, that there is a story of sacrifice and effort and support and help that is accompanying the success that we are celebrating. I also understand that quite a few of the graduands today are actually the first in their family to graduate with a degree. That is a very special achievement that I know everybody will remember. Everybody here will remember today for the rest of their lives. I still actively remember my graduation, even though I perhaps had a few too many to drink the night before. So you do remember this forever. I also understand that you're not really here to listen to me, so I will keep my comments short. A couple of weeks ago, I got rang up by the Dean of the faculty, Professor Russell Crawford. He asked me, he said, "Andy, I would love you to give the occasional address today." On the one hand, that's a great honour. On the other hand, I'm not a great public speaker. It's not something I rush to do. I think he could sense my hesitation, so he very quickly blurted out that it was his 50th birthday. It was a sort of emotional blackmail, if you like. So out of feeling sorry for him and knowing that he'll always just be that few months older than me, I said yes. I thought, not too bad. I've done one of these before. About half an hour later, the faculty general manager rang up and said, "You're not going to give the same speech you gave a year ago, are you?" So, okay. So what am I going to talk about? So a few of my colleagues knew that I was worried about this and I didn't know quite what to do. A couple offered me their speeches. One was a particularly good speech based around a philosopher called Seneca, whose basic idea was that frustration is a sign of madness, and I could have talked about that. There were some very inspirational ones I could have used, but then I don't feel comfortable giving somebody else's speech. I thought of stealing other great speeches in time and sort of adapting them. This is your finest hour was a possibility because that kind of fits. Walking down the front here, Pomp and Circumstance, Land of Hope and Glory was played. And for England and St George, it could easily be translated, I guess, for Swinburne and St Mary. So it's very easy, actually. But again, it's not really my words. So I have genuinely been struggling about what to say. But yesterday I had the ideal opportunity. I had to go to the dentist in the morning. And when you're sitting in the dentist chair, you will think about anything other than what's been happening to your teeth. So I sat there, I thought, well, maybe I could give a talk about what I did in my degree. So what I did in my degree was pure mathematics. So I could give you a talk about pure mathematics. So for those of you that don't know what pure mathematics is, that's the especially esoteric, useless stuff. So I could give you a talk about that, but I won't. I could try and think of some form of inspiration that I could give you from my life, but I thought I haven't really done anything that inspirational. Probably the most unique thing I've done is drive over my own foot once, which I did. Which I did in the city outside my office where I was working at Pricewaterhouse a number of years ago. And that memory will stay with me forever, like your memory of today will stay with you forever. But then I started thinking, really university degrees are more than just about the subjects that you learn. They are really, because of the people who teach you, it's really about a way of thinking that will hold you in good stead no matter what you have to do. If you have to wear a funny outfit and stand in front of a group of people, the basic skills that you have got, that you have developed and been nurtured in you through your time at university actually really do hold you in good stead. I hardly ever use my pure mathematics skills, hardly ever use them. When I do, people normally fall asleep and I start talking about it, but the basic ability to think innovatively and to think outside the square is something that is developed throughout your university career. There was a famous quote by Henry Ford when he was asked about what his customers thought about the Model T Ford. And he said, if I'd asked them what they'd wanted, they'd have asked for a faster horse. Now, he was an example of somebody who was thinking outside the square, right? He wasn't just locked into what was the obvious solution, try and breed slightly faster horses. He actually did something unique. And in a sense, those are the kinds of skills that get developed throughout your career at university. And the reason that happens is not necessarily because of the subjects that you learn. It's because the people that teach you are active researchers. So our academics are very strong researchers, and I'll talk a little bit about how strong the university is in research in a minute. But it's those skills of thinking outside the square, questioning assumptions, testing boundaries, that basically are inherent in the way that people who get degrees from this university are taught, and therefore those skills come with you. So I can give you many examples of the kinds of research that this university is doing at the moment. I could easily, in all honesty, I could spend an hour, don't worry I won't, but I could spend an hour just listing a whole series of achievements. A couple of 100 metres up the road to our left, if you just go over Glenferrie Road, you'll see the Victoria Suntech Advanced Solar Facility, where Swinburne is working with Suntech, the world's largest producer of solar panels, to produce the next generation of panels using Swinburne technology, which will halve the price of solar panels and double their efficiency. That's a fourfold improvement. Greg Murray in this faculty works with Beyond Blue to look at mood disorders associated with the body clock. I seem to be perpetually in jet lag, so I'm moody, and maybe I can use that as an excuse now. The biofrequency lab that looks at the bioeffects radio frequency lab also in this faculty is looking at the effects of mobile phones on the brain. You may have seen publicity about a year ago. Some of our other researchers developed technology which would mean you could store 20,000 Blu-ray movies on a single disc. That made the cover of a magazine called Nature, which is the world's most prestigious scientific journal. And to be on the cover of that really is quite something. Even more fantastic than that, we were on the cover a year ago, which is a brilliant achievement. This week's edition of Nature actually has another Swinburne researcher on the cover, this time from our astrophysics group. And this person, the lead author, is actually a PhD student. Now, I really could talk for a very long time about the research achievements of this university. I'm not just picking random examples or the only examples I've got. And I guess some evidence of that is if you look at the status of Swinburne as an institution and how it's developed, particularly over the last 20 or so years. The world's most credible ranking system for universities, which ranks universities on the quality of their research, has 4 Victorian universities in the top 500 in the world: University of Melbourne, University of Monash, La Trobe and Swinburne. Remembering Swinburne is a lot younger as a university than those institutions are, and research takes time to develop. The Times Higher Education ranking system, which is now called the QS ranking from London, has a similar story in terms of our status as a research university. On a more local level, the latest Good Universities Guide has given us a 4-star rating for research. By the way, they gave us a 5-star rating for every teaching measure, which I think is the only university in the country to achieve that. But that's another achievement I won't sort of dwell on too much today. To put that in some kind of context, if you look at the other Victorian universities, the University of Melbourne has 5 stars, as you would expect for the oldest, most established university. Us and Monash have 4, and everybody else has something lower. And I won't list them, I don't want to embarrass those universities, but that gives you some idea of the status of the research at this university. And that status is continuing to grow. I was chatting to the ladies who sort of put our outfits on before I came down here, and they were struggling to find enough tassels for all the PhD students that are graduating today. And a number of those PhD students have done great research. Just picking Jacques Duff, I think, is one of the PhD students looking at attention disorder, hyperactive research. That's great research that he's doing. He's just one of a large number of research students that we are celebrating today. But as I said, it's not just about the research students who have picked up those skills, it's about everybody. And this university's status is continuing to improve. About 150 metres over there, you will see a $140 million building called the Advanced Technology Centre that is nearing completion. Contained within that is a lot of iconic equipment that is unique to Swinburne and will draw researchers to this university and will be used by students and academic staff and industry and university partners alike. That would include, for example, an MRI, an MEG neuroimaging centre, being the only such one in this state, and I think one of only 2 in the country. Next to that, once that building is finished, we are commencing the building of a $100 million facility called the Factory of the Future, which is going to house, amongst many other things, Boeing's research centre for the Southern Hemisphere. And that's going to go there too, and it's going to develop materials to build faster and lighter planes and more fuel-efficient planes. So research for the university status is forever improving. And as well as today always being with you, your association with this university will continue as well, and you will bask in the glories of the ongoing improved status of Swinburne as a world-leading university. When I got my PhD, I actually got my PhD in the UK at a university called Warwick, which was about the same age as Swinburne is as a university when I graduated. In the latest university rankings in the UK, Warwick is now 3rd, behind the obvious 2 of Oxford and Cambridge, and there's 130 universities there. That is the trajectory this university is on. And genuinely, when I go to meetings with people who know about these things, they say, wow, you went to that university. That's the kind of association that you will get because of the learning that you have attained here and the research of everybody, both ahead of me and behind me. So look, I am immensely proud of everybody here today. I think what you have achieved, and I mean everybody, not just the graduates, what you have, and also the guests, and also, my colleagues as well, what you have achieved is fantastic. And I know there's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of effort has been undertaken in order to get to where we are today. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak at your graduation, and I hope you have the rest of the day works out well for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Flitman, for your insightful comments and, must say, entertaining comments today. I now call upon Mr. Tony Reid, Director of Student Operations, to verify that the graduates listed in the program are eligible to receive their awards.
Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to inform you that in accordance with Statute 13 of Swinburne University of Technology Act, the graduates who will be presented at this ceremony will have applied to have their award conferred in absentia have fulfilled the conditions prescribed and are entitled to the award of bachelor degree, graduate certificate, graduate diploma, master degree and Doctor of Philosophy as appropriate of Swinburne University of Technology.
Would all graduands please stand for the conferral of awards? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Council of Swinburne University of Technology, I admit the duly authorised graduands here today, present and in absentia to the appropriate awards and to the rights and privileges of those awards. Congratulations. Please be seated. I now call upon Professor Russell Crawford, Dean of the Faculty of Life and Social Sciences, to present his graduates.
Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred an award. For the Bachelor of Arts, Christina Margaret Bassett-Smith. Tara Skye Emerson. Alana Gill. Amy Leeworthy. Catherine Elizabeth Bodkin-Moore. Daniel Cameron Orr. Michael John Teresi. For the Bachelor of Arts in Games and Interactivity, Nicholas James Jameson. For the Bachelor of Arts in Media and Communications, Lucy Bartonek. Tegan Lee Butler. Jacob Andrew Corcoran. Laura Elise Cousins. Jessica Ann DeGala. Christopher John Shaw Kenner. Stuart Roderick Kent. Natasha Kershaw. Stephanie Elise Lamp. Hannah May Owen. Kevsa Resadoglu. Nagar Riazati. Alice Mary Stevenson. Grace Vincent Town. For the Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Psychophysiology, Alyssa Jane Davidson. For the Bachelor of Health Science in Public and Environmental Health, Robert Lincoln Clark. Sally May Fuller. Taban Morris Mulakwat. For the Bachelor of Multimedia, Yan Fan. Catherine Gikas. Welly Hariono Kwok. Jing Yao Li. Zhongwei Wang. For the Bachelor of Multimedia in Business Marketing, Zemin Fung. Jack William Fullerton. Stacey Louise Heatherton. Oliver Sims McNaught Reynolds. Marta Normowicz. Matthew Adam Storer. Jessica Amaris Yates. For the Bachelor of Multimedia in Games and Interactivity and the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Software Engineering, Matthew Benton. Alexander Dale Byatt. Chan Jason Phoenix. Paul Evgenidis. Konstantinos Kritikos. For the Bachelor of Multimedia in Media Studies, Dale Alabaster. Ryan Alexander Bartlett. Dexter Bituin. Adam Robert Bottega. John Christopher Carrion. Ira Felinsky. Daniel Joseph Gung. Edward Scott Blagden Hale. Tegan Caffrey Kopp. Yashogan Pillay. Eliza Kate Woodhead. For the Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry and Chemistry, Sin Bin Lin. For the Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Sciences, Christopher William Furphy. Jayanth Yoganthan. For the Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology, Simon Thomas Larvis. Thalini Kanchana Malala Sakura. Lisa Colleen Iris Solomon. For the Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology and Biochemistry, Samantha Ann Bray-Smith Comack. For the Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology and Biochemistry and the Bachelor of Business, Shona Michelle Berndt. Elango Ganasan. Dale Luke Jamison. Harjinder Kaur Sakaria. For the Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Psychophysiology, Nicola Johnson. Susan Amanda Kirk. Hugh Roger Patton. For the Bachelor of Social Science, Asher Beltsos Russo. Amanda Bennett. Bianca Giamu. Jeremy David Hutton. Layla Sakini. Imra Vazelli. For the Bachelor of Social Science in Psychology, Olawesiai Temiideo Adeboba. Rachel Emily Jane Bett. Miranda Tegan Carpenter. For the Bachelor of Arts Honours, Catherine Emily Chisholm. Shane Christopher Cumming. Marion Ruth Jamison. For the Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology and the Bachelor of Arts in Media and Communications, Michael Gregory Manning. Alex Sapidias. For the Graduate Certificate of Social Science in Housing Management and Policy, Gregory James Hill. Anna Lydia Radford. For the Graduate Diploma of Arts in Commercial Radio, James Francis Brooks. Kimberly Jane Davis. For the Graduate Diploma of Science in Biotechnology, Vishna Gopinathan Menon. For the Graduate Diploma of Science in Clinical Psychology, Linda Sarah Craig. For the Graduate Diploma of Social Science in Family Therapy, Lisa Ann Butcher. Edward James Sharp. For the Postgraduate Diploma of Psychology, Natalie Ann Griemer. Louise Marie Pianta. For the Graduate Diploma of Science in Cardiac Technology, Bridget Joy McLaughlin. For the Master of Arts in Communications, Anne Veronica McGravy Wright. For the Master of Arts in Media and Communications, Kim Zoe Evans. Stephanie Lauren Gray. Megan Emma Rogers. For the Master of Multimedia, Chin Si Wai. Dale Robert Cofield. Oshik Harari. Ka Chon Ip. Matthew Sanjeev Reddy Katakam. For the Master of Multimedia Technology, Lu Liu. For the Master of Psychology in Clinical Psychology, Julia India Costello. For the Master of Psychology in Counselling Psychology, Brenda Ellen Taylor. For the Master of Science in Applied Statistics, Caroline Ann Borg. Denver Alex Quadros. For the Master of Science in Biotechnology, Rucha Bimrao Dog. Jirin Anil. Shantanu Deepak Kaprika. Akriti Sahi. Sivani Sivakumar. Malik Arjun Srirangam. Malay Ramanlal Trivedi. Pavan Vogu. Pushpaka Hazita Wadyaratna. For the Master of Science in Good Manufacturing Practices, Priyanka Meka. Bhavish Kumar Godhandras Sonoya. For the Master of Multimedia Honours, Erin Jan Veldsman. For the Master of Science Honours in Good Manufacturing Practices, Jigar Kishokumar Dava. Vrajesh Vinodpai Patel. Vipan Kumar. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Clinical Psychology, Matthew Richard Curry. Matthew's thesis title is Aggression Replacement Training, an Australian Youth Justice Evaluation. Aggression Replacement Training, or ART, is a comprehensive cognitive behavioural intervention for aggressive youth. Studies from the US, UK and Europe have shown ART to be one of the most effective programs of its sort. This study evaluated ART among Australian youth aged 17 to 21 years, serving a custodial sentence for violent offences. After completing ART, participants reported significant reductions on measures of aggression, criminal thinking and impulsivity, and improved problem-solving abilities. Moreover, these gains were maintained at 6 and 24-month follow-up. This study provided further support for the clinical utility of ART, as well as evidence of its cultural suitability in working with high-risk Australian male offenders. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Matthew Richard Curry for the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Clinical Psychology. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Clinical Psychology, Deborah Lisa Zaks. Deborah's thesis title is Development and Pilot Testing of the Caregiver Leisure Attitude Scale, or CLAS, and the Me Time for Mums Creative Arts and Leisure Program. Research demonstrates that family caregivers are at increased risk of stress, depression, loss of time for personal leisure and diminished well-being. The present research responded to these risks in two ways. Firstly, the researchers pilot tested a new instrument to measure family caregivers' attitudes to leisure and its effects. Preliminary evidence was found for the validity and reliability of the CLAS. Secondly, the researchers developed and performed a qualitative and quantitative evaluation of the innovative Me Time for Mums leisure and creative arts program. Positive program evaluation results were replicated across the two groups of participants, mothers of children with disabilities, and reveal the numerous salubrious effects of leisure programs for family caregivers. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Deborah Lisa Zacks for the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Clinical Psychology. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology, Loretta Bell. Loretta's thesis title is Impairment in Autobiographical Memory in Women with Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, a comparative analysis of autobiographical specificity, central executive functioning and self-concept clarity. Dr. Bell's research examined the impact of traumatic experiences on memory to reveal underlying mechanisms associated with debilitating psychological post-trauma symptoms. Women with post-traumatic stress disorder displaced reduced specificity of personal memories, impaired working memory, and less clear perceptions of themselves. The result suggests that the deficits in the quality of personal memories in trauma-exposed women may be associated with impaired working memory, possibly due to a shallower information processing style associated with the meaning of memories. Medium levels of self-clarity appeared to be optimal for psychological recovery from trauma in these women. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Loretta Bell for the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology, Adele Ruth Carmody. Adele's thesis title is An Exploration of Psychological Characteristics of People Seeking Relationship Counselling in an Australian Clinical Setting. Relationship counselling has been provided in Australia for over 60 years, yet there has been little research conducted in real-life clinical settings, either within Australia or overseas, that has investigated the reasons people seek counselling and the benefits they receive from professional assistance. The current study explored pre- and post-counselling variables for couples attending for relationship counselling in an Australian clinical setting, and also explored counsellor perceptions of satisfaction with counselling outcome. Results showed a significant gender difference, with women overall being less satisfied with their relationship prior to counselling than men. Men and women were significantly more depressed, stressed and anxious, and there was also a high proportion of insecurely attached people that is found in the general population. This research also showed that clients and counsellors often differed in their perceptions of what occurred in counselling. Recommendations for future research in clinical settings include further exploration of the relationship between insecure attachment, depression and relationship problems in adult life. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Adele Ruth Carmody for the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology, Karen Tracy Johnson. Karen's thesis title is Predicting the Relationship Satisfaction of Couples with Dependent Children, the Impact of Attachment, Conflict Styles and Emotional Intelligence. This research examined the associations between adult attachment, conflict resolution styles, emotional intelligence and relationship satisfaction, and determined which of these variables were the most important predictors of relationship satisfaction. The sample comprised 111 heterosexual couples living together in a marital relationship with one or more dependent children. Overall, the research identified some interesting gender differences in the relationship experiences of men and women, particularly with regard to their perceptions of their partner's level of emotional intelligence. Further, the research highlighted important factors to consider in the context of couple therapy, such as levels of attachment, avoidance, and ineffective arguing styles. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Karen Tracy Johnson for the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology, Susan Wheeler. Susan's thesis title is An Exploration of Secondary Traumatic Effects in Members of the Victorian Police Force. This study examined secondary traumatic stress resulting from hearing about and dealing with other people's trauma in 210 police officers, 135 men and 75 women aged between 20 to 55 years. Theoretical risk factors for development of secondary traumatic stress, such as having one's own trauma history and dealing with victims of sexual abuse, were not contributing factors in this study. Poor coping methods and personality factors were more important. Furthermore, the results indicated that secondary traumatic stress was not sufficiently different from burnout. Officers also indicated that victim stress was not the worst aspect of their job, citing administration, lack of resources, office politics and management issues as being more concerning to them. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Susan Wheeler for the degree of Doctor of Psychology in Counselling Psychology. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Christopher Charles Baker. Christopher's thesis title is Estate Transmission and Post-Mortem Charitable Giving in Australia. This study investigated patterns and influences of estate transmission and charitable giving in Australia. It analysed a random sample of 1,729 probate files processed in Victoria, Australia in 2006. In addition, interviews with 21 intermediaries, professional fundraisers and advisors provided complementary qualitative insight into the context in which probate decisions take place. This study found that Australian estate transmission conventions are dominated by hegemonic expectations for estates to be bequeathed to immediate family members. Estates invariably go to the surviving spouse. In the absence of a spouse, estates go to the children in equal share, and lifetime charitable giving practices are displaced and overridden. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Christopher Charles Baker for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Luke Andrew Downey. Luke's thesis title is The Psychological Determinants of Rugby Union Player Performance. This thesis aimed to identify the psychological predictors of elite rugby union player performance through a series of studies. The first involved interviewing influential past and present administrators, players and coaches in order to identify drivers of elite rugby union player performance. These constructs were assessed via players' self-report and coaches' ratings of players' psychological attributes. Performance was assessed via a player's self-rating of their seasonal performance, a coach's rating of each player's seasonal performance, and finally via objective game statistics measures of performance over the course of 2 Super 12 seasons. It was noted that across the 2 seasons data collection that the predictors of players and coaches' subjective rating of performance stayed relatively consistent, and facets of emotional intelligence, coping with stress and sporting orientation predicted a number of the objective on-field statistics. It was concluded that this information provides Australian rugby to improve talent identification and elite player development. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Luke Andrew Downey for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Jacques Duff. Jacques' thesis title is Changes in Brain Electrical Activity of Boys with ADHD Following Neurotherapy. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, is characterised by poor attention, impulsiveness and hyperactivity. This research demonstrates that neurotherapy significantly increased brain activation and resulted in a speeding up of the mental processes involved in the attentional system. These changes were associated with a normalisation of scores on a computer-administered test of variables of attention and ADHD symptoms. The results provided support to recent controlled studies and a meta-analysis that suggests that neurotherapy is an effective and efficacious treatment for ADHD, devoid of adverse side effects. It also elucidates how the various components of the attentional system malfunction in ADHD and how these may be redressed with neurotherapy. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Jacques Duff for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Deborah Isles. Deborah's thesis title is The Predictors and Pathways of Depression in an Early Australian Adolescent Sample. Subclinical depression has been identified as affecting between 15 to 40% of youth and is comorbid with dysfunctions in social, emotional, behavioural and academic spheres. Dr. Isles' research identified key predictors of depression in Australian adolescents and developed a model to predict the complex longitudinal relationships between depression, stress, coping, rumination, aggression, loneliness, anxiety and self-esteem. Overall, higher levels of stress, negative affect and lower levels of self-esteem emerged as the strongest influence on depression. These findings will assist in the refinement of targeted early interventions for depression during this critical developmental stage in the lives of Australians. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Deborah Isles for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Matthew da Costa Marques. Matthew's thesis title is An Examination of Intellectualism and the Tall Poppy Syndrome in the Australian Context, investigating attitudes towards scientists using a values framework and contextual information. This research program investigated the presence of the tall poppy syndrome in Australia and whether or not Australian scientists are regarded by the public as tall poppies. Results from 3 studies suggested that the Australian public did not want to cut down intellectuals, such as scientists, from their position, and that attitudes towards them were generally positive. It was also found that scientists were judged more negatively when they were described as working in morally controversial research areas such as human embryonic stem cell research, when they were judged to be less deserving of their success, and for respondents who valued conservative ideals. The research has implications for raising the awareness of importance of the nation's intellectuals, increasing trust in scientists, carrying out controversial research and fostering public support for science. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Matthew da Costa Marques for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, David Thomas Prater. David's thesis title is Bonfire of the Vanity Presses, Self-Publishing in the Field of Australian Poetry. This thesis explores the practice of self-publishing in the field of Australian poetry. Rather than offering a basic defence of self-publishing or a textual analysis of self-published works, the exegesis reimagines self-publishing within the power structures of the literary field. The thesis also incorporates an artefact composed of published, self-published and privately published books. Despite technological changes in the way books are published, the thesis argues that non-mainstream print publishing forms such as the chapbook still play a significant role in fostering innovation in poetry. In doing so, it seeks a more sophisticated understanding of the literary field and the role of books as signifiers of prestige within that field. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. David Thomas Prater for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deputy Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Hugh Wu. Humay's thesis title is Characterisation of Genes Encoding Cyclophilins and Protein Disulfide Isomerases in Cereals. The storage protein quality of wheat is important for nutritional and food technological purposes. Enzymes, cyclophilins and protein disulfide isomerases are expected to play crucial roles in the deposition of storage proteins in cereals. However, limited information exists about the genes encoding these enzymes in cereals. This study aimed to identify and characterise these gene families in wheat and rice using bioinformatics and conduct comparative analysis with their orthologs and in Arabidopsis. The work has identified new CYPs and PDIs with potential roles in storage protein folding response to ER and other stresses, grain quality and other important traits. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Hugh Wu for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the Faculty of Life and Social Sciences. I now call upon Mr. Jeremy Hutton, who graduated today with a Bachelor of Social Science, to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Our assembly is being held on the traditional lands of the Kulin Nation, and I'd like to acknowledge them as the traditional owners. I would also like to pay my respects to their elders and the elders of other communities who may be here today. Deputy Chancellor, members of the University Council, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Today, for every student in this room, marks the end of yet another chapter in the great journey of life, which is why we are all here, of course, to celebrate our graduations. So on behalf of those graduating students, I would like to begin by ingratiating our sincerest thanks upon everyone who has supported us along the way. In the great Humboldtian tradition, and in the words of Alexander von Humboldt himself, universities are a place where learning in the deepest and widest sense of the word may be cultivated, in a manner that inspires both a cooperative sense of spirit and that of community. I trust that I speak for most, if not all of us, when I say that this collective commitment to free inquiry in the pursuit of knowledge has been the richest experience of my time here at Swinburne. Indeed, Swinburne has a fantastic reputation, not only for its standard of teaching, but for its intimate and supportive environment. All of the staff at Swinburne, therefore, deserve our very special thanks for their endeavour over the years. We are all fortunate to have been taught by academics who truly embrace the capacity to inspire the inherent curiosity that lives within us all, and in a process of reciprocal exchange. To this end, it would be remiss of me to not pay a small personal tribute to 4 academics who have enlightened many lives in this regard. Drs. Peter Love, Julie Kimber, Michael Leach, and Associate Professor Aaron Gare, thank you. I would also like to take this opportunity to pay particular testament to our sessional teaching staff here at Swinburne who, under increasingly difficult circumstances, remain true to the pedagogical spirit. We must also thank our classmates, our comrades, for accompanying us on this journey, for it has been a privilege to enjoy the richness of the classroom, the fervent debate, all in the collective pursuit of truth and a sense for justice. But of course, fulfilling a degree is not just about completing assignments on time and passing exams. It's also about the growth of the individual in a process of self-actualisation, something that doesn't occur without the invaluable and somewhat unqualified support of our friends and our families. In my case, my mum, my sister and my dad, and the case for some, Centrelink also. Right throughout this process, through all of the challenges and rewards, the tears and anxieties, they have been here for us, whether it be in a financial, emotional or a spiritual capacity. I trust that all of us now feel a tremendous sense of pride in what we have achieved, having worked toward this moment for many years. Indeed, it is a great honour for me to be here before you today and to share this moment with you all. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, as we students look to commencing new cycles in our lives, let us again acknowledge those who have contributed to our studies and reflect upon what this all means. For as graduates of the arts and social sciences, the knowledge, friendships and experience we have gained during our time here at Swinburne will undoubtedly help us to contribute to the culture of our nation, to that of humanity and ecology. To my fellow students, again, congratulations, felicidades, and good luck for the future.
Thank you, Jeremy. To Swinburne graduates, I know that today is the culmination of years of hard work and that during this time you've had the encouragement and help of family and friends. On yours and the university's behalf, I wish to thank them for their support of your studies at Swinburne and for being here to see you graduate. I'm sure that they, like us, are very proud of you and all that you've done and achieved. Graduates, can I ask you to stand, to turn and face your family and friends and to join me in a round of applause to say thank you to those who've helped you to achieve this award. Thank you. Could I ask you to resume your seats? Graduates, on your behalf, I wish to also take the opportunity to thank the academic and administrative staff for their contribution to your education at Swinburne. Would all the staff please rise? Graduates, would you join me in a round of applause for all the Swinburne staff? Graduates, I hope that you will consider that this is the beginning of a lifelong association with Swinburne. Education is a continuing process, and I hope that many of you will return to Swinburne to further your studies. I'll also encourage you to participate in the activities of the Swinburne Alumni Association. The Alumni Association has groups in many different parts of the world. So even if you're leaving Melbourne, you can continue your participation in Swinburne activities. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude the formal part of this Swinburne graduation and award conferral ceremony, I offer my congratulations to all who have received an award today. Well done and thank you.
On behalf of the members of Council and the university community, I invite you to join us for refreshments which will be served in the chandelier room. Would you now please stand while the official party, academic procession and the procession of graduates leave the hall.
Swinburne University of Technology.